Stop for a moment and remember the last time you looked in a mirror. Maybe it was this morning while brushing your teeth, or when you adjusted your hair before stepping outside. We do it so automatically that we barely notice it. But imagine a world without mirrors. No selfies, no quick checks before a meeting, no certainty about what you truly look like. You would know your face only through other people's descriptions, or through the vague feeling of your hands moving across your own skin. For most of human history, that was normal. Humanity lived for thousands of years in a quiet kind of self-blindness. And that's why the story of the mirror is so much bigger than a bathroom object. It is a story about identity, about power, about technology, about art and science. And most of all, about the moment human beings began to truly see themselves, not as a feeling, not as a name, not as a voice inside the mind, but as a visible image in the world. The first mirror wasn't made by humans. Long before glass and silver, the first mirror was nature itself. A still pond, a calm lake, a bowl of water held steady in two hands. When early humans leaned down to drink, they sometimes saw something startling, a face staring back, a stranger, and yet, unmistakably familiar. That moment must have felt unreal. The reflection moved when you moved. It copied you perfectly. It was you, but also not you. And for a mind still learning how to separate self from world, that experience would have been almost mystical, like meeting your own spirit on the surface of water. But water is a fragile mirror. A ripple destroys it. Wind breaks it. Darkness swallows it. And you can't carry it with you. The desire to possess your own image, to hold it, control it, keep it, pushed humans toward the first artificial mirrors. Obsidian, the first human-made mirrors. Archaeology suggests that some of the earliest crafted mirrors appeared in central Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, during the Neolithic period, made from obsidian black volcanic glass that can be polished into a reflective surface. Think about what that means. Thousands of years before skyscrapers, before written alphabets, before coins and engines and electricity, someone sat down with a stone and polished it until it could return an image. The reflection would have been dark, shadowy, and dreamlike. But to a Neolithic human, it was still a miracle, a portable piece of self-knowledge, and mirrors were not common. They were rare objects, found at only a handful of sites. That rarity tells us something. Mirrors were never just practical. They were special, valuable, probably used in rituals, status displays, or moments that mattered. Metal mirrors, beauty, power, and constant labor. As civilizations grew, mirrors evolved. Ancient peoples began shaping and polishing metal, copper, bronze, and later silver into reflective discs. In ancient Egypt, polished bronze mirrors existed very early in their history, and the mirror often carried symbolic meaning tied to light and the sun. But metal mirrors had a problem. They fought time itself. Bronze and copper oxidize. Silver tarnishes. The mirror would slowly lose clarity, like a memory fading. Owning a mirror meant maintaining it, polishing it again and again, restoring brightness through labor. That constant effort turned mirrors into status objects. A mirror wasn't only something you used, it was something you kept alive. In many societies, only elites could afford the best metal, the best workmanship, and the daily maintenance. Other parts of the ancient world developed mirror traditions too. In China, bronze mirrors became important cultural objects, used in daily life and in ritual contexts, with beautifully decorated backs and polished reflective fronts. Across the ancient world, mirrors were not merely tools, they were artworks, symbols, and sometimes spiritual instruments. Glass enters the story slowly. Glass is one of the most magical materials humans ever invented. Solid like stone, yet transparent like air. The Romans are often credited with developing early forms of glass mirrors, though these did not become widespread for everyday use until much later. Why? Because a glass mirror is not just glass. You need a reflective layer behind it. You need flatness. You need clarity. You need a method that is repeatable. For centuries, mirror making remained difficult, expensive, and dangerous. Then, in Europe, something changed. Venice and Murano, the age of guarded reflections. By the late medieval period and into the Renaissance, Venice became a global center of advanced glassmaking. On the island of Murano, Venetian craftsmen refined techniques that could produce clearer, flatter glass, and eventually glass mirrors that stunned the world. One of the key breakthroughs was the tin mercury amalgam mirror. glass backed with a reflective layer created by combining tin and mercury. The process involved working with toxic mercury and required skill, speed, and precision. And Venice treated this knowledge like a weapon. The Venetian state guarded glassmaking secrets with extreme control. Historical accounts describe restrictions on glassmakers leaving without permission, and severe punishment for revealing trade secrets, sometimes described as punishable by death. Whether every threat was carried out exactly as written, the message was clear. The craft was so valuable that the state would protect it at any cost. So imagine the world then. A mirror isn't something you buy at a store. It's a luxury object, rare, expensive, surrounded by secrecy. People didn't simply use mirrors. They displayed them. A high-quality mirror was not only a reflection of your face, it was a reflection of your wealth and power. France breaks the monopoly. Versailles and the psychology of appearance. Now enter France and enter ambition. Under King Louis XIV, the Sun King, France wanted to dominate Europe not only with armies, but with culture, architecture, and prestige. Mirrors were part of that prestige, and the French pushed hard to challenge Venice's control over mirror production. The result was one of the most famous rooms in world history, the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles. It is lined with 357 mirrors set into 17 arches opposite the windows, designed to amplify light and spectacle. This wasn't just decoration. It was political theater. The room was built to overwhelm visitors, to make them feel, in their bones, that they were standing inside the gravitational center of European power. But something deeper was happening too. Mirrors were changing psychology. When mirrors become larger, clearer, and more common among the upper classes, people begin to see themselves more often and more accurately. That sounds simple, almost trivial, but it is revolutionary. Self-awareness increases. Personal appearance becomes a daily concern. Fashion, grooming, posture, facial expression, everything becomes something you can study, refine, and perform. It's not an accident that modern portraiture flourished in eras where reflective technology improved. Artists could study light and shadow more precisely. Subjects could practice how they wish to be seen. Philosophy, too, shifted toward the individual, toward the inner self and personal identity. The mirror didn't create the modern self alone, but it helped train the modern mind to think of identity as something visible, presentable, and controllable. 1835, the mirror becomes ordinary. For centuries, mirrors remained expensive because production was hard and hazardous. Then chemistry changed everything. In 1835, German chemist Justus von Liebig developed a chemical process for depositing silver onto glass, creating bright, accurate mirrors that were far easier to mass-produce. This silvering process helped push mirrors out of palaces and into ordinary homes. And when a technology enters every home, it reshapes everyday life. Now a child could grow up seeing their own face daily. People could watch themselves age in real time. Mirrors became tools for hygiene and grooming, yes, but also tools for self-image. They quietly influenced confidence, insecurity, vanity, shame, pride, and aspiration. When everyone can see themselves clearly, society becomes more visual, appearance becomes more social, and the self becomes more edited. You could say that the mirror was one of the first technologies that turned human identity into a kind of daily project. Mirrors as engines of science. But the mirror's power doesn't stop at the vanity table. Mirrors became central to modern science because science is, in many ways, the art of seeing what human eyes cannot normally see. Telescopes use mirrors to collect and focus faint light from deep space. Microscopes use reflective components to control light paths. Lasers and advanced optics depend on reflective surfaces precisely engineered. And for proof, look at one of the most advanced mirrors ever built. The primary mirror of the James Webb Space Telescope. NASA describes Webb's mirror system as consisting of multiple mirrors, including its iconic 18-segment primary mirror. Those 18 hexagonal segments form a mirror about 6.5 meters across, designed to capture infrared light with extraordinary sensitivity. The mirror segments are made of beryllium and coated with gold to reflect infrared efficiently. Think about the poetic symmetry of that. The mirror began as a dark obsidian stone reflecting a human face by a firelit village. Now it becomes a gold-coated precision instrument in space, reflecting light that has traveled billions of years' light from the early universe. The same basic idea, reflect and focus, scaled from a handheld stone to a cosmic eye. The mirror keeps evolving, the future of reflection. Today, mirrors are evolving again. Smart mirrors can integrate lighting, cameras, sensors, and displays. Some are designed for fitness, makeup, or health tracking. The mirror is no longer only reflective. It can also be interactive. It can become a dashboard, a coach, even a diagnostic tool. But here's the key point: no matter how advanced the mirror becomes, its emotional core remains the same. A mirror is the place where the inner and outer self meet. It can be comforting proof that you exist, that you are real, that you are here. It can also be unsettling because it shows you things you can't unsee: fatigue, aging, vulnerability, truth. And that's why mirrors have always carried symbolic weight. In myths and stories, mirrors reveal hidden realities. They expose illusions. They act as portals, judgments, traps, truths. That symbolism doesn't come from superstition alone. It comes from the real, psychological impact of seeing yourself clearly. A final thought. At the end of this long journey from still ponds to obsidian, from bronze discs to Murano secrets, from Versailles grandeur to Liebig's chemistry, from household bathrooms to space telescopes, we realize something simple but profound. A mirror reflects more than light. It reflects human curiosity, the urge to understand reality. It reflects human pride, the desire to be seen. It reflects human fear, the anxiety of imperfection. It reflects human progress, the ability to turn materials into meaning. So the next time you look into a mirror, don't treat it like background noise. For a second, remember what it truly is: a technology that took millennia to perfect, once guarded like gold, now so common we forget its power. And maybe the mirror's greatest lesson is this: to explore the vast world outside us. Sometimes we have to begin with the strange, intimate, unforgettable act of looking back at ourselves.